Now welcoming Ian O'Connor of ESPNNewYork.com. And Ian, the numbers back up the fact that the Knicks are better without Stoudemire. So why does New York even want him in the lineup tonight?
Well, he's been a star player in the league for a long time. The Knicks obviously invested $100 million in him. They like him. He does a lot for the organization off the floor. He's a relentless worker. So I think the Knicks, when they can, they like to give him the benefit of the doubt if possible. And he is a more diversified offensive player than Tyson Chandler and Kenyon Martin. However, the playoffs, they're not the time to be easing someone back into the rotation. Amari does have a limit of 10 to 12 minutes as set by the team doctor tonight. But if I'm Mike Woodson, I'm telling him he might not get any of those 10 to 12 minutes if the situation dictates that. The Knicks were obviously 38-15 without Amari in the regular season, 16-13 with him. So if Carmelo Anthony and Chandler and Kmart are playing effectively against that big pacer front line, if I'm Woodson, I'm not taking any minutes away from those three players, and I'm keeping Amari on the bench and maybe using him as something of a pinch hitter in a later game in the playoffs when the Knicks' big people aren't as effective.
Also, another big storyline, J.R. Smith is questionable for tonight's game. He did not participate in shoot-around this morning because of an illness. If he doesn't play, who would step in?
Well, you know, the Knicks wanted J.R. Smith to get hot, just not this kind of hot with a 102-degree fever. He's been really struggling, obviously, since the suspension in the Boston series, but he is the second-best offensive player on the team, and at some point in the playoffs, he was going to break out again, you would think, anyway. I don't see anyone on the Knicks bench who can duplicate what JR does and give you 20 points in a playoff game. So I think if he doesn't play, or if he's as limited as Mike Woodson suggested he's going to be in Game 3, the Knicks will have to replace him by committee. That means Prigioni will have to continue to be aggressive offensively. That means more minutes and shots maybe for the likes of Copeland and Novak, who really hasn't done anything in the postseason. And it also means that Jason Kidd might actually have to make a few baskets. Kidd has been playing very smart basketball as always, getting deflections, making the right pass, but he hasn't scored a basket in 161 minutes in the playoffs since the first quarter of Game 2 against Boston, so that has to change.
All right, that's Ian O'Connor of ESPNNewYork.com joining us here on SportsCenter. Thank you, Ian.